Hey guys, welcome to our overpopulation review. Today we're going to be exploring some factors that influence population size. So let's start off with discussing what the carrying capacity is. So when we say carrying capacity, we refer to the maximum number of individuals that can live in a specific area. So organisms need resources in order to live. These resources include food, water, clean air, space, shelter, and energy. Now, overpopulation occurs when there's too many organisms living in an environment where there is not enough resources. So if we look at this table for population size, we will notice that there's a dashed line going across, and that dashed line represents the carrying capacity. In other words, the maximum amount of individuals that could live in a specific area. And you will notice that when the population increases above the carrying capacity, individuals start dying off and the population decreases, okay? So the population here is increasing. It reaches its carrying capacity, meaning it can't hold more individuals. And so you're going to see it start to decrease again. And pretty much you're going to always see it hit that carrying capacity and start heading back down and decreasing because the environment or that specific area doesn't have enough resources to support more than that amount of individuals. All right, so let's do a little check-in for understanding. What does the carrying capacity represent? What does that dotted line represent? Does it represent the number of years, the maximum number of individuals that could survive, or the minimum number of individuals that can survive? Go ahead, select your answer, and when you're ready to go over the response, press play. All right, if you picked response or answer 2, you are correct. The carrying capacity represents the max number of individuals that can survive in a specific area. All right, guys, so now we're going to watch a video that goes over how overpopulation along with pollution is affecting our environment. Enjoy.
Human activities, from pollution to overpopulation, are driving up the Earth's temperature and fundamentally changing the world around us. The main cause is a phenomenon known as the greenhouse effect. Gases in the atmosphere, such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons, let the sun's light in, but keep some of the heat from escaping, like the glass walls of a greenhouse. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the more heat gets trapped, strengthening the greenhouse effect and increasing the Earth's temperature. Human activities, like the burning of fossil fuels, have increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere by more than 1/3 since the Industrial Revolution. The rapid increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has warmed the planet at an alarming rate. While Earth's climate has fluctuated in the past, atmospheric carbon dioxide hasn't reached today's levels in hundreds of thousands of years. Climate change has consequences for our oceans, our weather, our food sources, and our health. Ice sheets, such as Greenland and Antarctica, are melting. The extra water that was once held in glaciers causes sea levels to rise and spills out of the oceans, flooding coastal regions. Warmer temperatures also make weather more extreme. This means not only more intense major storms, floods, and heavy snowfall, but also longer and more frequent droughts. These changes in weather pose challenges. Growing crops becomes more difficult. The areas where plants and animals can live shift, and water supplies are diminished. In addition to creating new agricultural challenges, climate change can directly affect people's physical health. In urban areas, the warmer atmosphere creates an environment that traps and increases the amount of smog. This is because smog contains ozone particles, which increase rapidly at higher temperatures. Exposure to higher levels of smog can cause health problems such as asthma, heart disease, and lung cancer. While the rapid rate of climate change is caused by humans, humans are also the ones who can combat it. If we work to replace fossil fuels with renewable energy sources like solar and wind, which don't produce greenhouse gas emissions, we might still be able to prevent some of the worst effects of climate change.
So I hope you enjoyed the video and got a clear perspective of how overpopulation has a powerful effect on climate change. As we saw, the more people we have, the greater the demand for burning these fossil fuels, which emit these greenhouse gases that trap heat and contribute to climate change. So now we're going to talk a little bit about limiting resource because it's connected to carrying capacity. Actually, the limiting resource determines the carrying capacity. It determines how many individuals a specific area can hold. Why? Because those are resources that individuals need to survive. So if you don't have enough, then they're not going to thrive. They need that to survive. So they pretty much limit or control how many individuals can live in an area. So a population increases when there are plenty of resources, but a population will start to decrease when there's not enough resources or the environment changes for the worse. So let's do a fun activity. You can grab a paper and a pen to write some notes down as we discuss this. Let's go over our scenario with orange aliens, right? So we have orange aliens and they need the red fruit, the green circles, and their own hole to survive, okay? Now, they need that. Without it, they cannot live. So based on our learnings, if you look at this visual, what would be the limiting factor? Would it be their home, the hole that they live in, the red fruit, or the green food that they need to survive? What would be the limiting factor? So try to figure that one out. And then when you're ready, when you think you have the answer, go ahead, press play so you can review your response. So welcome back. The moment of truth. What is the limiting factor here? The limiting factor is, drum roll, the green food. We only have 3, right? And we know the aliens need 1 of each. So the greatest number of aliens that could survive is 3. Okay. Now let's take a look at how that's possible. All right, well, this alien would have enough green food, enough fruit, and it would have a home. That's one alien that would survive. This alien will have green food, fruit, and a home as well. So this alien would survive. And our little buddy here, again, has everything it needs. Green food, fruit, and a home. Okay? Unfortunately, the green food is a limiting factor, and if there's no more, this alien is going to unfortunately perish, just like this one, just like this one, just like this one, and you get the drift here. Okay? They're not going to be able to get all 3 requirements. They're not going to be able to obtain the resources that they need to live. And so that's why the limiting factor, it's ultimately the green food, because it's pretty much determined how many aliens could survive. I hope you guys enjoyed our little alien example and it brought a little bit more clarity to the idea of limiting resources. And I hope you leave this little session with a little bit more knowledge on overpopulation, how it affects and contributes to climate change, and how limiting factor or limiting resource plays a huge role in all of this. Feel free to play the video as much as you want, and I hope that you go and ace that independent task thanks to the extra support you got from this video. Take care. Bye-bye.